Hello, everyone! Welcome back to TRI's Top 100 Crypto Review, or TRI Crypto Countdown, or TRI Having Fun Talking Markets. I don't know, it's Wednesday night. I guess now, geez, we've been going now for, what is it? It's already December now. Can you believe that? It's already December. We've been doing this, I guess, for like a good 6 months, eh? How many weeks are there in a year? There's 52 weeks in a year, right? So what number are we at? I think we're at like 23 or something like that. Yeah.
Starting this summer. We'll be starting June.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So welcome back. This is good old. Actually, we don't have the cameras on. I think are the boys generally camera shy? Do you guys want to be on camera? I don't know whether you guys want to be on screen or not, but. We'll do just a quick, hey, there we are, so you can see us, Google Hangouts do a million. But anyway, there we are. There's Brian up top there. Welcome back to the show. We've got, Nick actually just got back to his post. So I don't know whether, I don't really want to make them feel uncomfortable. You can see, there they are. I'll just let them talk. If they want to be on camera, they can always... let me know. That's okay. But why don't we start up at the top? Nick, reporting in from Minnesota. How's it going there, Chief?
It's good. We're in temporary housing number 2. We'll be here for 4 months, so finally have a setup, kind of.
That's cool. Has it started snowing yet in Minnesota?
It did snow before we moved here a couple weeks ago, but we have not seen any since we got here.
Oh, interesting. Early December, eh? I guess it's... all right, so Nick's getting settled back in the irony of it all is that I suppose, you Americans, you would consider him moving to the far north, probably close to Santa Claus, and yet, ironically enough, if you actually looked at it on the parallels, I think you're even south of me. I'm way up here by Santa.
Yeah, we are south of you. We're oddly enough, Toronto is south of us.
Yeah, okay, that would make sense. Yeah,
but that's Ontario. About the only place is kind of southern Ontario.
I seem to remember. I think southern Ontario is actually like aligned with like northern California, believe it or not. So, anyway, welcome back to the. I guess last week you joined us. You just didn't have a camera on, but you were with us last week, weren't you? I seem to remember.
Yeah, anyway. I missed 2 weeks ago when I was moving, but.
It's all good. So welcome back, and great to hear your voice again, of course. Coming up number 2 on the hit list, just because he's second in line, but don't turn around. Where are you going? Derek, you're number 2. If you got to check on something, go and do it, and I'll go down to bed. But
no, we're good.
All right. So here's Derek. Derek, how you doing this evening, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. I just got caught trying to organize my space. That's all.
It's adorable. Actually, Derek, you had a pretty good time in class today. We were chatting up quite a storm about sector rotation and all that today, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. It takes a lot of, a lot of analysis and work. But I think, like you mentioned in class, like once you do it, like it sticks with you. So it kind of like things are starting to make more sense in terms of like maybe being able to see where the money is going and that type of thing in the market. So it was very interesting.
Yeah, but it's a great tool to have in your toolkit and like your tool belt, and it gives you a nice, especially if you can understand those mutual fund and money flow guys, it gives you sort of an unfair advantage over the public, and they just never see that kind of stuff. So anyway, good to hear that I saw you in class today, quite active. It's great interacting with you and working with you, and also too. I wasn't able to attend, but saw you in the TRI Secret Options Formula Club meeting last night.
Yeah, that was finally made it into the SOF, and that's one. Be honest with you, that's one of the reasons why I joined. It was like I wanted to learn how to do options, and it forced me to go through all 3 levels to get to that point. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad you can't just jump. Jump straight into it, because a lot of the things and concepts and all that kind of play out there. So it feels a little rewarding at this point to get to that.
That's cool. And indeed, no offense, people, options are fun. They're real easy to lose a lot of money in options. So as a result, I don't really even want to talk options with new people to trading and learning. So you're right there. So if anything, awesome that you finally jumped through all Brian's crazy hoops, and now yeah, I can't wait. It was really cool to have you in the or listen to you in the meeting last night, interacting with Zach and David and Ray. I think I saw Ray there last night, but and Ryan and stuff. So it's great. Welcome to the fold. If you like options, get settled in. We're gonna have lots of fun with you. Bringing up the pack, certainly not least of all in our mind. Actually, just getting through the level 1. Learning to understand how to work with trading plans is Ben. How you doing this evening, Ben?
Hey, I'm doing great, thank you.
Awesome. How's the great state of Florida? Is it snowing there yet?
I wish. Maybe one day.
Wish? No, don't wish for that. You don't want snow. Snow sucks. Trust me.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, well, I guess it would be kind of fun to just, mind you, oh man, broken hips. I could just, all the senior citizens in Florida, that would be a nightmare.
and we just don't have the clothing for it as well, so.
Yeah. Wearing Bermuda shorts to shovel snow doesn't work. Anyway, welcome back to the excitement, gentlemen. Always a pleasure working with you guys. I think this has been an excellent experience in that we get to hear from people at various different stages of the education program here at TRI, which I think gives maybe viewers a little sort of taste of what it is we do here. And now Sjord, the man, the myth, the legend, has finally got the dashboard up and running. In fact, actually, Derek, we were Ben, you visited in level 1 intermarket analysis relationships with the start of sort of your introduction to TA, and then in level 3 we come back to this, and this is, honestly, this is going to change everything in the markets here. I'm so excited to bring this product to market. Totally going to change everything. And the cool part about this is this information, it's just the breadth. It's sort of like think of the tide. The tide moves in, the tide moves out. Don't fight the tide. You can't win. So that's sort of like what breadth is. But, if you're going to position yourself to take a risk in the market, well, you probably want breadth to be doing things like making W's. So, gee whiz, there's crypto making W's. And I got to tell you, man, we've been making some killer, insane money in crypto past couple days. I did see things come off a little bit for our show tonight. So I wonder if somebody was pushing price around just to make sure it finished at a certain level so one of us looked good. Nick, weren't you bearish? I think you're the one who wanted to push things down, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm the perma bear now.
Anyway. It's interesting because the broader market just looks like crap right now. I mean, it doesn't look much more bearish than this from a breadth perspective, which is good because once this is cleaned out, then we can set the stage for the next bull run, and then we're banging out doubles and the whole damn thing, doing it all over again. And like I said, you can actually start seeing the turn come in crypto. I think crypto's leading a little bit to a certain degree. And, just as a good example of something that TRI people, we had our CTO, Sjord, who does some great research. If there's going to be somebody, it's kind of like Nick, and also, too, I suppose both Derek and Ben. But Sjord really knows like the ins and outs of this stuff, and he fell in love with the Luna story as soon as he saw it. He got TRI loaded up down here. So how do you think TRI is doing right now? We're doing perfectly fine, thank you very much. But it's interesting because I also trade, and this is a classic trade setup that I teach all the students. I couldn't come in and buy here, but I had to wait for the reload zone correction, clean the market out, and I've been banging out doubles. Got off a huge win here, I guess this morning as the market popped up here into my sell order, so I was super stoked about that. And also, too, there's a couple others, like our little buddy Sis. I love the guys at Six. I've been following these guys at Sis literally since 2000. I've been following the Sis guys and the Ubit guys sort of side by side for like, and I don't even know what I'm screen sharing. Yeah, I guess I'm screen sharing this. Since the very first day I've gotten into crypto. I here they are. Look at that, they're up again. So, and actually I've got open orders. You can see, look how close I am. Actually, you can't see, there I am. So I've got open orders to sell some, another sell half on a double here order. So I'm probably going to get filled on that in the next day or two. So super stoked. Great market. Really, really great market. And if anything, this kind of image, and this is what I really wanted to talk to you guys about tonight, was, I'm not quite sure how you say this. OK Boomer Legacy. Man, it just looks like it's being left in the dust. And it's interesting, even as I'm getting doubles and stuff coming in on these names, I'm asking myself, do I really want to be in fiat currency? Like, is that a great alternative? Go and take profits, get out of this crypto crap crypto stuff, excuse me, that's going up like just gangbusters, and jump into fiat? Is that really what I want to do? And there's a big part of me that's kind of like, I don't really want to sell. But at the same time, too, I'm a demonstrator of best practices, so we got to do the right thing. And, of course, like I said, when I get doubles, then I got to make sure to pay myself and all that kind of fun stuff. So, fun market, excuse me. I think that if you can get involved in the DeFi space, I think there's a couple names that, to me, look like they're even just waking up right now, like this... what was it? Was it Komodo, or was it what's the one that's Kusama? I think that's it. It's sort of the test bed for a bigger one of these DeFi chains, isn't it?
Polkadot.
Yeah, but Kusama's the junior network or something like that, right?
Yep, it's a related network.
Yeah, so I noticed that like it was starting to wake up, and you know what? It was really cool. There's fun little names, like, I don't know why. I haven't got a clue. But little W's came in on things like this hero. This is Colin, your buddy Nick. He's not my buddy. I know, it's coming. No, he is. It's all good. It's all good.
No, I like Colin. We're just not close friends.
Right.
That's all.
I bought this W just because I love W's, and I was like, damn, that's a big ass W, and look at what's happening. I don't know what the hell these guys are doing, but
they did just announce like a 36 or something $million round of funding.
Oh, good.
I think it was either, it might have been yesterday, I can't remember, but that definitely in this time frame that it's pumping.
Okay, that makes sense, because I'll tell you, the words that I'm hearing from that sort of part of the world are these guys are doing very, very well. I don't know about Hero in particular, but, guys that are... So I think Colin's fairly closely associated with Danny. And, of course, I think you have a big whack at Danny, don't you, Nick?
Yeah, well, I don't have any Danny coin, but I do have Danny's coins.
Yeah. I don't know, Derek and Ben, did either of you two get in on I suppose that's the spell and the wave and all that, right?
Yeah, I have a little bit of time.
Okay. Time,
Yep.
not wave. What did I... Wave, that's the Russian guys. Beg your pardon. Time. Also, too, there was... what's that? Now, does the MIM... Is that supposed to be their stable coin? That's supposed to be, like, sort of their currency?
Yep. It is a decentralized stable coin. So, like, you have your USDC and your Tether, which are centralized, and they can kind of print whatever they want. The decentralized ones, I guess MIM is closest to, like, DAI. DAI.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, like, you actually, to be able to print MIM, you need to be able to supply collateral that's a different crypto coin, and then it will allow you to print a certain amount of MIM and take a loan off of that collateral, and that's how MIM is actually created. And so, Danny is actually partnered with Do Kwon, the Luna guy, to do a lot with UST and MIM. And so they have some really nice partnerships and pools going on with each other that seem to be driving a lot of Luna burning, which might be one of the reasons. I mean, Luna has a ton going for it, but might be one of the reasons why we have Luna kind of going crazy here.
Yeah, Luna sure is enjoying. That's a terrible chart. Sorry. Luna's really enjoying one hell of a bull market. Excuse me.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I like the idea of kind of what Danny's talking about in terms of that if it's a decentralized stablecoin and being cross-chain and that type of thing. It's kind of interesting if we can actually build that out across a lot of the different chains, Cosmos, AVAX, and all that type of stuff. I think that'll be very interesting. Like it'll be like once you get in DeFi, you can just kind of stay there.
Well, and that and I've even told Sjord and Julian this that. Luna itself, they have, I think it's the mirror. Is that right? I think it's MIR, this thing here.
Yep.
It's supposed to be sort of like, they have just a bazillion different assets that are like stock market proxies. And for instance, Sjord has a position in Galaxy, Novogratz's stock. Through the Luna network, I think using this MIR. I'm not positive, but I think it's using the MIR. I'm not the point. And if you are interested and you're watching this, we do have a few hundred people that watch this through the week. Feel free to pop on the site. We do, shameless plug. We do have a 30-day subscription free. I'm not quite sure what loads here when I do this. We'll see what happens. I guess I can't show you the front page. But you can come on the page and sign up for a 30-day trial over here. I don't know where the heck it is. It's on here somewhere. But anyway, if you come here, then you'll see the 30-day trial. So feel free to pop on that. And I tell you, just go on this site and type in this search box, Luna, and oh my goodness. I mean, Sjord, look how many episodes are all just specifically about Luna. And these are fairly long presentations. Sjord like literally walks you through how to set up all your wallets and everything and stuff. I mean, it's pretty darn impressive. So the point that I just make, I'm not the expert, but if you do want to learn about Luna, please feel free to come on the site. But what I would love, and we're very close, is I've been working away with this breadth concept with the stock market forever. But now, if we're lucky, we can actually create... You can see how there's a whole bunch of universes here, right? We got like country funds, commodities, Dow stocks, ETFs. We can actually do a sector, like a section of Luna traded assets. And basically, that's a breadth of everything that Luna has on that MIR network. And, we can get top 5 and bottom 5 readings. It was actually fun going through the daily brief and walking through. We can actually get a really good idea of what the hell's going on in the world if all you do is just look at who's driving the bus in the markets. It's fascinating how this is basically Chinese yuan, Taiwan semiconductor, and a bunch of bond ETFs. That's interesting. Fascinating. Anyway. So wouldn't it be totally awesome to, like you said there just a moment ago, sorry, it took me 20 minutes to get here. But wouldn't it be awesome if we had like a Luna little universe and then we can just literally shift the assets and do like a sector rotation modeling, Derek, off of all the Luna crypto assets in the crypto universe and just basically shift your money to wherever the strongest part of the market is and actually have algorithms that automatically rebalance and just have you always parked in the top 5 performing assets in the group. The gnarly institutional $1 billion asset fund hedge manager guy gets all excited. Because keep in mind, like all of these things, that Luna has them all inside all of their, like I said, here's where's Canada's top 5, right? Galaxy is in this. So anyway,
you sound more bullish now. Are you still like really against people like playing in the synthetic stock type arena?
I don't, I guess the regulators have had the opportunity to shoot this stuff down. They literally have. They just did another 2-day marathon in front of Congress, and they could have easily spent the time shitting on DeFi and saying we got a real problem here. We got to shut these kids down. They're going to tip the system over. That people like Hillary Clinton and Maxine Waters, your favorite Congress lady, Derek. I know you love her. Where's she? Maybe you do like her, maybe you don't. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm good on that. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
If it's who I'm thinking of, she's got some nice hats, though.
Yeah, fancy. Point being, they literally had 2 or 3 days, and there were a couple opportunities. But when they went after crypto, what did they talk about? Are you guys listening?
I didn't listen.
That's always a good sign. Ben, do you know what your politicians are talking about with regard to crypto?
No, I would only be guessing.
We're talking about how do we bring the market down enough so we can get in and make a lot of money.
Maybe.
Well, maybe privately.
Maybe.
I mean, I think that's probably the reason why they didn't mention it. Nobody paid them to mention it. So
I heard. Well, and so that's the point there too.
Yeah.
Is where is the money in crypto right now? And ironically enough, I think the money in crypto right now are these stable coins. I mean, like when we talk like billions and tens of billions, like enough money that you actually get these politicians' attention. So I don't think like NFTs, I don't think the space is big enough for that really to get their attention. But when somebody says, we're going to print $10 billion of U.S. sort of tethers, whether you like it or not, Uncle Sam and everybody inside Uncle Sam goes, what the fuck? You can't do that. And so what I think's happening here is there's going to be a real push over the next year or two to just get these stable coins to actually prove that they have the assets backing their claim of stable coinhood. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think there's a lot of money involved in both fees. If you run money market funds to the tune of trillions of dollars and you charge a 0.1% MER to run a $1 trillion fund, how much money is that? It's a lot.
It's thousands. That's $1 billion.
It's $1 billion frickin' dollars for a 0.1% fee. So I think that's where the money is right now, to be honest with you.
That's one reason why I'm actually pretty bullish on MIM and other decentralized stablecoins as well, is you can't really go after too many people there. Like they could go after Danny, but the protocol will still work. Whereas you can go after USDC, you can go after Tether all you want because they are centralized. They have bodies that run that.
Right.
And so I actually do like UST. I like MIM. I mean, to a lesser extent, I like DAI. Like DAI's fine. I just think MIM is better. And so I like the decentralized stablecoin narrative because it's much harder to shut those down. You could ban it. You could ban it in the U.S.
Well, I don't think that they care. I don't think that they want to ban this stuff. What they want to do is say, if you want to play in the money market fund, you have to play by the rules. And I could easily see Doe and Danny just say, okay, tell us what the rules are. And then they go and build out the network to meet all the rules. I mean, the good part about decentralization is theoretically, it means we all have to play by the same rules, right? I mean, isn't that what decentralization is all about?
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like it also means that no one entity can define the rules.
Okay, that's fine.
That is what the U.S. government's going to try to do.
But here's the thing, right? Is that when Tether as the only alternative comes out, as the only stable coin. And they won't tell anybody what they actually have. It's just a pure leap of faith. You're trusting these guys. Is that something that you can take to the bank? No. But I would bet that Jay Powell and his banker class will say, show us an algorithm that's bulletproof, that your system is running off of that. I can take that to the bank and I can collateralize that. I heard a guy today, probably not really the best analogy, but it comes to mind. He bought a property. It didn't have any electricity on it. Everything was state-of-the-art propane. State-of-the-art propane tanks, all the appliances, perfect. Bank will not write a mortgage on that property. The guy has to go in, he has to put 25 poles down, run an electrical line into the property. Instantly, the bank will give him a mortgage. So it's sort of like the bank doesn't really care. But the only way that you can flip the house quickly, especially if they have to take possession of the house, is if you can say, well, it's on the grid, it's ready to go. It's a marketable product. If you have to sell it like it's not on the grid, you're out in the boonies, then you might just it sits there off market forever and they can't get rid of the damn thing. You know what I mean?
So you essentially just need to prove the value of the collateral.
I think so. I think that's the big thing. And the funny thing is with DeFi, with a guy like Binance and the sort of the centralized DeFi, they could be in a bit of trouble because they can always fudge the books, right? But purely DeFi, decentralized DeFi that's all based on protocols. And I don't know whether do you guys watch Sjord when he goes through all his logic and stuff? Sjord's a logic kind of guy. And if he starts seeing some funny business and stuff doesn't add up, he's going to be the first guy to know, right? Or at least mention it. So.
Yep. I haven't watched much of anything, period, in the last 3 weeks, but before then. Yeah.
You just been counting all your money, right?
Oh, God, I wish.
So somebody's asking you, speaking of money bags, what the name of that big GAN Bible is that you got and where you got it and all that. So maybe
if you go down 3 lines, I put the link in there.
Oh, yeah, that's you. Oh, yeah, I always forget that.
That is
silly
me.
me. You're, what are you called over there? You got Hard Made Easy. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, I'm just blustering here. I don't know. What should we look at? What should we talk about here today, boys?
I haven't seen any daily briefs lately. Have you talked about the ETH BTC chart at all?
I think that last show we probably looked at it. I don't know. Does it mean something to you?
It's looking mighty fine right now. It looks like it's at its highest level since about 2018.
Something like that. Looks like we were obviously looking at this before.
Yeah. Why don't we zoom out? Zoom back.
When in doubt, zoom out.
Because this thing is at its highest level, at least it was earlier yesterday, since I think May of 2018.
Yeah, okay.
It gets me excited.
Does it?
It does. If it breaks out, yeah.
All right. Probably better to put that off of there. I'll go up there. Well, and then we'll put that there. I think I was hearing some of these kids now. They're pushing this whole market peak back another 6 months or so. I don't know. The last thing in the world I want to hear these kids go is, oh, but this time it's different. Uh-oh. Let's hope nobody says that. Boom. Well, so you can see where a clown like me would probably want to belong somewhere in all this mess here. There's a cute little W that came in right there. Doink. Nice little fractal. So I suppose you could have framed that as your third low. 1, 2, 3. So it looks like you're supposed to be long from 0.07. And you're looking for 12. That's almost a double. I don't know what that means.
Well, and to be fair, I usually have used this as a proxy for if the alts are going to do well. Because usually if ETH is outperforming Bitcoin by this much, then the smaller altcoins will do even better.
Yeah, it would make sense. That's what's supposed to happen this part of the cycle.
And so that's why I'm mostly excited. I own a little bit of Bitcoin, not a ton compared to everything else in my portfolio. And so if ETH goes crazy, I'm happy because that means my other coins that I like will probably also do well.
Yeah, probably what happens is something like this ramps up. Because if I'm not mistaken, isn't and maybe you guys actually Ben, you're sort of hip with the kids these days. Isn't Snoop Dogg supposed to be like performing at the Super Bowl or something like that this year?
Well, yeah, I saw Derek sent through an NFT that he's. Was that you that sent that, Derek?
Yeah, it looked like he's jumping in the NFT game. So before the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
I think that's in a couple. Was it a couple days? Maybe there's an NFT auction.
So there you go. Maybe the
So this might be
Super
the start
Bowl
of
is
it.
the end of the move, eh?
Could be.
Be.
Maybe so is he? And maybe what's going to happen is he'll announce like a single or something like that, and then maybe on the Super Bowl he announces like a full album or something like that. Who knows?
Sure, you
So-
gotta look it.
There's that. Also, too, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw on like social media, guys like Crypto Cobain, they're just making an absolute fortune on these Ethereum NFTs, aren't they?
I mean, if you've gotten into the right ones, yeah. Like earlier this summer, there were quite literal rocks that went up 1,000x or so. You could buy one for a couple thousand earlier this year, and when some sold for millions. And
So
like
there you
they were
go.
called ether rocks. There's just a picture of a rock.
So is that not a classic pet rock analogy? The interesting
is.
thing is that's actually exactly the same part of the cycle. We had pet rocks, just about exactly the
It
same.
feels
time.
like it. Like there's stuff going on like that. Seems like on every chain. I follow Hedera pretty closely.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
There was something similar like that on there. They were like, I forgot even what they're called, but they look like little. They're multicolored rocks, but it's kind of like a cool kind of 4D, 3D image looking thing. But I mean, same concept, right? It's like these colorful looking rocks, and they were being auctioned off for, I mean, at least several $100, right? Not a ton of money at the moment, but just it was kind of
I guess,
interesting. Kind of big at the same time.
Julian will probably give us a report on his. What was the Luna thing that they did recently? Did you guys participate in that? The
Deviants.
Deviants, yeah, that's their version of this stuff,
Yeah,
right?
I participated in that one. Yep, the minting of the cards.
If I understand correctly, that's almost like a game too.
It
so
is.
it has like a double bonus sort of to it as well, eh? Also, too, he's got like planets or something like that. Are you guys familiar with that stuff? I don't understand that. Anyway,
I'm not familiar with that one.
no.
Yeah, I only heard what Julian was saying and how possibly later down the road it'll be maybe tied into the metaverse as well.
Yeah, there you go. Eh?
Yeah.
So
It's amazing. It's like you own a planet, then the planet gets on the metaverse, and then you own this piece of the metaverse, and so it's like
That'd be trippy. How does that fit in? See, here's the thing. Like, do all the decentral people, do they get run over because there's like 500 metaverses that all come out and they get completely diluted? If I understand correctly, I think Decentraland's still sort of ahead of everybody else by a certain degree there, aren't they?
Yeah, they are currently.
What's mana?
I do think the end of the end vision isn't necessarily going to be that one of these wins out. It's that you're going to be able to jump from one to the next, however you want to.
That'd be
And
trippy.
so as long as Decentraland keeps building out,
Woo.
and I imagine they will be part of it. But I don't think that there's going to be one that wins and everyone else fails.
What I was kind of hoping was we'd do these shows and I would give such riveting commentary that all the ladies, of course, would be throwing their panties at me, but all you men, of course, would be going and helping us get a mana plot there, but didn't quite work out that way.
It's tougher now when mana's 442 a plot.
Totally. I mean, I still got a big chunk of these things, but property they're getting pretty damn expensive.
So I had a buddy that bought a plot of land in Decentraland last cycle for $80.
Yeah.
And he just sold it, I want to say, for, I forget what exactly it was. I think it was like 40 something thousand.
40 G's.
And I mean, so you figure that's like a 500x
Yeah.
on his investment.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he was pretty happy. A different plot, I think it was a bigger plot, but just went for, was it 2 million or 6 million? It went for a single digit millions in Decentraland.
Wow. I do know Aaron over at Ubic. He's been a big Decentraland fan, so hopefully it's so. You know what I love about the people that are involved in this kind of space, and they have been since the beginning, is they're just real honest people. Aaron was a postal worker. He used to just carry around a mailbag for years. So a guy like that, if he gets paid for his hard time and effort congratulations. And you guys get off your butt and get Ubic going, damn it! Sorry.
So that does go back to one of your earlier comments. I don't think you said like, okay, boomer. I don't think you call them dinosaurs, but that's what I usually call them. Like a lot of the older coins that were a bigger thing last cycle, I feel like thank you, Adam, $2.5 million for that plot of land. I feel like a lot of the older coins, you need to keep innovating or you're just going to be left behind. It seems like the pace of change in crypto is just so much more than or so much quicker than most other, I don't know what you want to call it, most other industries that we've seen.
No, yeah. It is a classic hallmark for venture capital. And actually a great analogy of that in the stock market is we're flipping stocks, and there was one stock. Do you remember a few years ago? Is it Roku was really, really popular in
Roku,
TV,
yeah.
Right, and there was a company called Seagate. These guys here, and they had sort of technology that was sort of in that Sea Change. Beg your pardon, Sea Change. And it was interesting. One of the traders on the site, I don't know whether you know Will. He was like, "Oh, I'm in that TV business. TV itself, this is the same thing. These guys were the fucking shit. Excuse my French. Years ago, right? Not even that long ago. Just a few years ago. This thing was, it was a blue chip company. We're gonna change the world. All that kind of talk, right? And now they can't even get out of their own way, right? So, I mean, I hear exactly what you're saying, and I totally 100% agree with you. If you don't keep up and you don't keep innovating and you don't keep ahead of the curve in venture cap, you could easily just be left behind. So you're absolutely right. The one good thing I like about Ubic is they were doing the smart contracts last cycle. I remember that. So they were trying to work away on that. They have, the posters, the NFT posters and all that kind of stuff. So they are trying to keep pace. I think just with this Ubic guys, they just need some sort of catalyst, something that's sort of like, hey, this makes us stand out in the crowd. And if they do get that, because the developers and the developer community around them do have a very good reputation, I still think it's this damn geo story, right? The geocaching. And the whole idea, I think you could tie this into the sickness and actually use this as a way to help track the sickness and we won't say the magic words that trigger all the algorithms and stuff. But like I said, what I think they need some sort of catalyst that just sort of launches them. And so Aaron and I don't know whether Sturkey was part of the Mana crowd. I don't think he was, but I know Aaron, for instance. He was the one. He actually has a business in Mana, building buildings for people. So that's that's how the ecosystem is developing. That there's guys who actually have businesses inside here and do stuff for fun in there. So anyway, so I don't know. And frankly speaking, I don't know anything about the inside of these. I'm a fan of Aaron, and I'm a fan of Sturkey, and I would morally like to see these guys do well. I think they're, Canadians, good quality people. But having said that, capitalism doesn't really care about your character, which sucks. They gotta, as Mr. McGuire would say. Let's see, which American should we pull this out of? What would Mr. McGuire say, Derek?
I want to say, show me the money.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, I was thinking of Mark McGuire, the old baseball slugger.
I
was not thinking of Jerry
bat.
Maguire.
Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. That's what
Or
I
you might
was
say,
hoping
who's coming
for.
with me?
All right. Anyway, I'm talking way too much. I want to hear from you guys. So, what the hell should we talk about next? I don't know. What do you guys feel like talking about? Oh, we were looking at that. I think on balance, I agree with you. If the Ethereum market is pointing higher, and it looks like it is, that should be constructive for the altcoin market.
I did like your bot target lined up really nicely with like a horizontal support level resistance level at the end of the last alt season too. Like if you look at the January 18 peak, it's right there at that 0.12.
Yeah, right up into here, eh?
Yeah, so that looks like a decent target if it does hit.
One thing I did notice, I've seen this before, is I bought the first altcoin that I ever bought was in 2013. I think it was called UTC or something like that. And I bought it on Crapsy. You guys remember Crapsy? What's that? OT12BTC is less than 64K. What are you guys going on about? Ben, what are you saying here? Tell us what's on your mind.
So I was just backing up. I didn't want to break up the conversation, but just backing up Nick's point of that idea of Confluence heading into that 0.12 BTC. I know on the daily brief you'd also mentioned about a 6K target Ethereum.
Oh,
which
yeah.
kind of lines up with, if Bitcoin was down around that 50K level, that's 6K.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
But that kind of sucks because I want to change my name to Sedona, and I still need a good 200 G's on fucking Bitcoin to change my name. So what are you doing to me, Ben? What are you doing to me?
What is that in, what's 1.12 of that?
I don't know. 600,000.
I would gladly, 0.12 of that would be a $24,000 Ethereum. I will take that.
Yeah, sure. What the hell, eh? Geez, Liam will take that. Liam's got a whole shitload of Ethereum too. So
we'll get Liam two houses.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. And that's the irony of capitalism, right? You go there, oh, could I please have one house? And then, you turn around and boom, you got, like Danny. I bet you Danny, he never imagined the success that he's enjoying right now. I bet you he never imagined that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe not. I don't know. He seems the type that believes he can will things into being. Maybe he has always known that he can do this or he would do it, and he just
it's so cute. Like earlier on, they go, "Yeah, we can do it, guys. 3 million market cap. We can do it. We can do it." And now that's what? That's like 1,000x later, and it's like $3 billion market cap. So that's what I'm kind of saying. And kind of the same thing with Luna. It is cute to watch Sjord, because I have a funny feeling that this Luna trade is going to be Sjord's life-changing event. He's not going to be able to look at world the same way again. So congratulations to you, Sjord.
I mean, if they do what Do Kwon is trying to do and is saying that he believes will happen, like, you still haven't seen the beginning of where it's going to go. Obviously.
Did I show you? Check this out. Here's some chart porn for you guys. This will freak you out. Ready? We go Luna. And if you use, because keep in mind, growth theoretically should be measured on a logarithmic scale. So if you actually measure things on a logarithmic scale, and you do things like A, B, C, Ds, Actually, this might not be the best chart to use, but let's see if we can do this. If we go log, this would be natural growth, which just freaks you out because you can't even comprehend these numbers. Can you see where I'm going with this? Can you see how big? What's the harmonic pattern I'm thinking here? Every TRI level 1er should go, I can see what he's looking at.
But didn't you just say ABCD?
Oh, did I?
I think you did.
Okay.
Like doing my fingers on the screen, I got something in between the 460 and 700.
I tell you, man, these numbers. And what's interesting is I can actually see confluence here, which gets scary. Because literally what I see is the market is reinforcing these price objectives. So the problem with log charts, though, is if I try to do an ABCD, watch what happens to this line the moment I move it. What the fuck is that? So you can't really do that. That's why you have to eyeball it, which is such a pain in the ass. But if anything, it's kind of cool because it's sort of our secret weapon. So we go boobity-boo, and we go boobity-boo, and hello. That's a pretty damn big number up there. Right? And then, this is what I mean by the confluence. On this site, I've been talking people through this, where and I don't know what the name of this is. Actually, and I love to do this as a challenge. Does anybody know what the name of this chart pattern is? I've been trading for 30 fucking years, and I've never seen anybody give this chart pattern a name. Drives me crazy. But theoretically, it goes something along the lines of there's a rectangle that's on its side. And what I was really worried about this, which bugged me about a week or two ago, was we were actually making a rising wedge here, which is insanely bearish. We did actually break, and you can see that we put in an M here and we broke. And if there was, like through this was a scandal and they tried to break the story here, and that's why the price collapsed. If there was any scandal and there was anything that was sort of, this smells funny or whatever, the market had the permission to just shit its pants right here. And it didn't, which is, whew, dodged a bullet there. But I don't know what this pattern is called. Like I said, I've been trading a very, very long time. In fact, too long. Come on, you. I've got this thing on, so it's fighting me. There we go. So what ends up happening here is that this is also an ABCD, where this part, like I said, if anybody watching this video knows what the name of this pattern is, please tell me. Put in the comments, put in the lights, ring bells, ring Ben's bell, right? Isn't that how it goes? No, it's ring Colleen's bell. Sorry. I'm sexist. We only ring ladies' bells here. But anyway, point here is you go this rectangle, then you have the flary part on the left, and what I've found in my career is quite often you see that the flary part on the right looks almost exactly identical to the flary part on the left. And because this is a log scale, you have to sort of eyeball it. Where the hell is this thing? Because if I do it, automatically the lines get all screwed up. But the point I'm trying to make here is, can you see that, gee whiz, it looks like the market is trying to tell us it wants to get up into this area. And I wouldn't fight that. This is, if anything, this is a continuation pattern. And it's hard for you to see that while we're in the middle of this. You go, that's a continuation pattern? That thing's up and down like a horse drawers. But it is. It's a weird pattern that I've seen through my career, that it's like a, I don't know, what's the word that you'd use? It's a tilted consolidation. It's an angled consolidation. But that's a price consolidation right there. Isn't that weird? So go figure. Take a screenshot of that just for posterity, and just go, okay, well, let's see if this Beamish guy, let's just see what happens and come back in 6 months. I got a sneaky suspicion. And I mean, look at this thing. It's on fire. There's nothing really standing in front of this. If anything, you'd almost want this thing to calm down here a little bit, right? If anything, kind of like what you see here, the longer it keeps going in here, then the bigger the eventual blow off top is over here. So the longer that we put this off, the higher and higher and higher the price is going to go. So in a weird sort of way, you'd actually prefer that it kind of calm down here a little bit right now. But, I mean, talk about some chart porn, eh? Like, geez, that's got to get the Luna kids all happy. And if I understand correctly, I think, Julian was saying that the Deviant thing, it's starting to heat up, and there's like bidding wars and stuff going on for some of the cards. Like the prices are starting to go up substantially. So I think they've gotten into that. And then Sjord's saying that they've got a whole bunch of products and protocols and stuff that are coming online. My only advice to these guys is just keep the product flow moving. As soon as this thing dries up and it stagnates, then the bull's done. And then it might just pull the Ubik if it just can't innovate and it can't keep up.
Well, that's what would be really interesting about kind of all the cross chain stuff, right? Because if it dries up on one chain, you kind of just go to the next chain and do something else, and that's kind of
right. Well, if anything, that's the one thing that I'm holding out for Ubik is this bridging.
Yeah.
Right. If they can bridge, then technically you should be able to just zip in between all of these chains back and forth and stuff, right? And collateralize whatever coins you have. So.
The one thing that I think Luna has that could protect it longer than most chains is Anchor. Because Anchor does, I'm using quotes here, you guys on YouTube can't see it, but it does guarantee about just under a 20% APY on your.
I know,
API
that's
on your
crazy.
stables.
I always say this, people. If something smells too good to be true, you know how that goes. And Andrew tells me we're getting. I think he said 39,000% APY or something like that on the time coins that we have. What's the number?
Let me look it up. It's way higher than that. Hold on. Give me
1,000%.
I'm lowballing it. I mean, this is crazy.
You are. It's currently at 88,040.2%.
You go on the site, you move the dial, and you're like, man, if I could have that much, let me just put some more in there because let me crank that dial.
The thing you have to remember is that it's APY, which means it's auto compounded, which means. Well, I mean, this is still going to sound stupid, but you get like 1.8% interest a day, which if you linearize that, it's nowhere near 80,000. But when you actually auto compound it towards that last half of the year, it just goes crazy. But still,
so if anything, that's a perfect analogy, right? This shit's probably going to work for probably the next 6 months. And then everything falls right off, right?
You know what? You want to give me 1.8% on the money compounded daily for 6 months? I'll take it.
Okay. So, when's Super Bowl? Super Bowl's the middle of February, right? So, we're already into December, right?
Beginning of February,
that's a good quarter. That's not bad. That's 3 months. So, 89,000%. What's a quarter of that?
It'd be probably like a 20th of it.
I know, but I'm just being silly.
But anyway, I mean, you double your money about every month. You'll double it, and then another month it'll be quadruple. So you could get a 4x to an 8x in that amount of time.
Well, that's not bad. Better than kicking the pants. And the cool part about it is we already got our original capital back. So we're just basically playing with the market's money, and the boys have just thrown it in there and said, let's just see where the hell this thing takes us. Well, and I kind of like that attitude.
I've just been skimming off a lot of the interest. Like I got in when time was in the high 1,000s, and so I got my free bag a long time ago, and so I've just.
Oh, you mean 1,000s in price?
No, 1,000s in price.
Yeah, where are you supposed to chart this darn thing? Because you can't do it on TradingView, right?
You can now because they have a couple. Yeah, so if you put in time, they should have pangolin at least. Yeah, probably about the sixth one or so.
Oh,
the
this
one that
right
says,
here.
yeah, that guy.
Yeah, right on. There you go.
Unfortunately, that's in AVAX terms. Oh gosh, it's in inverse AVAX term. Here, do something for me quick. Go back to that top right. Yep, the top left. Sorry. Go back to the WaveAx time you have. And then on the beginning of it, put a 1 divided by, and then a left parenthesis.
Left parenthesis.
Then at the very end, put a divided by.
Oh, more?
Yeah. AVAX USD.
Ay, caramba. AVAX, like that?
Yeah, and then USD. And then just hit enter.
Oh,
There. That's
look at that.
roughly the price of time.
All right. Well, and this thing came out, and you said you're long from 1,000. So
it actually came out at like sometime in the middle of August, I think. So that's not a full chart, but yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Well, you probably got some good support in this tail right here, eh? There's also a gap there. So there's probably your playground. What is that? 4,500 up to 9,500, 4,500. Yeah, it's basically half. Not a big surprise. I don't know whether you can justify actually even thinking about buying this thing. It's gone up so much, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, it started at I think $50.
Yeah.
So
yeah. For the technicians, the market will be a buy when it W's out on the top of this, but who knows when the heck that's going to be. That could be quite a while. So anyway. All right. Well, I get the impression, like things like the Kusama, right? Because that was a fun one. That was your Polkadot. Is that right? The Polkadot sort of senior junior name.
Yep.
So, and then also the AVAX. That's another DeFi name that you like. Like that's all these guys, right?
AVAX been going insane. That's Aave.
No, that's not the same thing.
No, Aave is a bank. Essentially, it's a savings account, more or less.
Dang, let's get the hell out of there.
Whereas AVAX is like an Ethereum or like a Solana. It's a different layer 1 smart contract platform, but its users have been going insane. I think in the last few months, I might get this starting number wrong, but I think they've went from like something under 100,000 users to more than 1 million wallets now.
Oh, right on. What's the symbol for that then?
Just AVAX.
Like that?
With an X.
Well, there. Oh, yeah, okay. There you go. I don't know why. I'm sure I have this on the list here somewhere. Yeah, well, geez, holy bull market, eh? Look at that W right there. Gee whiz. So... this is a tough one to get in. I think I remember when we looked at this in the summer, I said the same thing. Man, this is difficult as hell to get in on this thing. So, all right. Well, I mean, it's great to have you, Nick, as sort of this stuff. I don't know any of it. What should we talk about next? How about over there on YouTube? Are you guys anything in particular we should take a look at? One way out of debt is growth. U.S. might support the DeFi space as they want to support growth and innovation. Yep, that's basically spot on, Wade. And then, of course, if you grow, then you can tax the shit out of that. I think Mr. Biden, he'd like to see more IRS agents on the ground. Just so sad, right? I mean, so typical of politics. Oh, yeah, well, we can afford to pay for this if we hire a whole bunch of cops and send them out to beat the citizens up. So, damned if we do, damned if we don't. I don't want more IRS people out there.
That's actually one reason I think they're going to love crypto, though, is they see this as a way to get so much more tax money.
And it's all very automated too, right? I mean, you can't fudge the numbers.
Yeah, it's completely transparent. You can't easily, or it's not incredibly easy to figure out whose wallet is whose, but I'm sure the government knows a lot more about this and is learning more every day than we would like to think.
I totally agree with you. I think I've said this repeatedly. Ironically enough, the creation and the adoption of cryptocurrencies it might even be the bane of individuals' human freedoms and individual sovereignty. It's just so ironic.
Yeah, because considering that's exactly what it's supposed to enable.
But it will be, I've said this before. I think what happens is literally when you get born, in the United States, you get issued a social security number. Is that what it's called?
Social security
In
number.
Canada, they call it a SIN number. Interesting, eh? Social insurance number. But I don't see any reason why that won't be a token in the future. And that token will be basically a record of your entire life. And so
will it be tradable?
Sorry?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Will it be tradable? Can you I want yours. It says that you're broke and 20 years old. I'll take that one.
Really? You want that one?
I want the government to think I'm broke.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. And then what would you have to do? Would you have to get their fingerprints and burned onto onto your fingers or something to prove that new blockchain that you bought is yours versus somebody else's?
This quickly went more painful and further than I thought it would go.
And now, of course, well, no, we better not touch that that political football. But yeah, so the irony of it all is where does this blockchain thing end? I do like the idea that just over the next 5-10 years, I really do like the idea of the music industry just becoming almost entirely on the blockchain. And probably a lot of sort of famous works of art, provenance, actually an actual trail for especially art dealers should make their lives a lot easier. Should make counterfeiters a little bit tougher to pull off. So I do like that, and it makes sense. The crypto Cobain guys, they're always the guys that are right at the forefront of this. I'm actually surprised that the porn industry isn't more involved in the NFT space. That does surprise me, because usually, the porn industry, they were right on the cutting edge of crypto their last cycle, and they've always been right on the cutting edge of technology.
I mean, it's not really, I think, porn by today's standards, but I know Playboy, I think, came out with some NFTs.
Well, sure. I would imagine a lot of their sort of icons that you'd say copyright, like the Playboy bunny, that icon and that logo should be NFT'd. And then anybody who wants to use that icon or logo, they have to pay a fee to Playboy Enterprises. That would make total sense to me. But anyway, who knows? All right, so do you guys have any opinion about Rune? Rune.
I love Rune. I've
All right,
never owned any, but I do love the protocol. So it's think of it as like a DEX that, on Binance or Coinbase or any of these places, you can trade BTC for Ethereum, for Solana, for all of these different kind of incompatible coins. Rune actually allows you to trade like BTC for Ethereum on chain. So I don't even know the tech behind it, but it actually allows you to trade assets that are on different chains in swaps. And it's
so the question I have with something like this is I've heard recently that this MIR, technically it's going to allow you to trade things like stocks and stuff on the Luna exchange stuff, but it doesn't really make a difference, the functionality, the price of this MIR thing, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So is that Rune sort of the same kind of thing? Where the actual value, are you going to make money from buying runes or whatever? It's not really built into the functionality of the platform.
That's true. I'm not sure how they do their liquidity pools. If their pools actually involve the Rune token, then there would be potentially a reason that you would want it and it could go up. But I'm not an expert on it.
So I think half of this battle that we have to figure out nowadays is, and it's always been the same, right? I mean, how do you figure out what the hell the value of one of these things is? And then why would I own this? If I own this just to do a job, then really the only value to this thing is just if it's just tons and tons and tons of people are coming and wanting to do the same thing, well, the demand for the asset to do it will go up. And is it a finite supply? All of these kind of questions I would want to ask to try and, to actually determine whether this is actually investable. Like I said a few minutes ago, we did have stories of people that did go and buy MIR, thinking that this was a really great way to make a fortune on the Luna network. The only problem is we learned that actually the value of this thing is irrelevant. I don't know.
So the one thing that I've learned in crypto is that you never want to buy a farm token.
Never want to buy a farm token. Where's that Great Del Moody? I don't know whether you're watching this here tonight. You're giving some rules here to write down. So rule number 1, everybody write this down. Never want to buy a farm token. Would you agree with that, Derek and Ben?
I wrote it down.
Good. Ben?
Yeah, I'm running it down too.
So essentially, anytime that there's a protocol that's going to give you insane fees that are paid out in the token, because you can buy synthetic stocks, you can then LP them, you'll get paid out in mirror, not in those stock tokens. And so anytime that they have a protocol that inflates their supply so much, there's big warning signs that it's going to be able to keep the demand. Mm-hmm. And so I do like the protocol, but like the entire whatever, this is episode 20 something that we've done, I've pretty much talked mostly in my love of certain protocols is because of what they do. It's not from like an investment standpoint. There are some that I invest in obviously as well, but I think Mirror is a great protocol, but I don't think I would ever just buy Mirror. If I wanted Mirror, I would probably buy one of the synthetic assets that it has, and I would farm Mirror with that.
Fascinating. All right, so everybody write that down.
Yeah, it's just a lot of times when you have a token that inflates and it pays out in itself, and there's super high APYs or APRs, then it oftentimes depreciates in value because people are farming that token to then dump it and buy other things.
Well heated. Thank you, sir.
It's not to say it can't go up. There are plenty of examples.
What I see happens with a lot of these is if it's designed and it's heavy supply, if it's designed to be heavy, it will be heavy, it will be heavy, it will be heavy, it will be heavy. And then out of nowhere, all of a sudden one day the fucking thing just goes up like 100x. And everybody's like, oh, look at that. Oh, they did something. And then it goes back to being heavy, back to being heavy, back to being heavy, back to being heavy. And just the cycle goes on and on and on. So if you did buy this MIR, I don't think it's going anywhere. But my suggestion is maybe wait for one of their exit pumps to maybe liquidate, especially if you're being paid the MIRs because you hold other things. Maybe just let them accumulate. Then and it'll happen. The day that you're, out shoveling snow in the middle of the Minnesota winter, and the last thing on your mind is cryptocurrencies, that'll be the day that it pops. But anyway, that bad analogy, I was trying to make Nick laugh there, but didn't.
I was thinking about it. It's another reason I actually really like the Danny coins because they have good tokenomics. They like Spell and Ice, all of the protocol fees that they create on their protocol, they take portions of that and buy back tokens, Spell tokens and Ice tokens, and then distribute them to the stakers. And so they're not printing any more Spell or Ice. They're taking the fees and market buying and then giving it to you. So it's essentially creating demand that then you could sell back if you want. But cool. It's not actually inflating supply versus some of these protocols.
All right. Now, what do you guys think about this ETH? Isn't there supposed to be a big ETH, like, what is it? The CME micro futures contract or something is supposed to be listed on the 5th or 6th, which I guess is like Sunday, Monday. Do you guys talk at all about that kind of stuff? Does that ring true for you at all? people in DeFi, do they even give a flying flute about that kind of stuff anymore?
I don't know. I feel like maybe they should, since it seems like whenever there are new tools where institutions can play, bad things usually happen. But I personally don't care until we get either a spot Bitcoin or ETH ETF or something. Like I know Fidelity apparently just got upset recently because they were kind of denied a Bitcoin ETF, a spot ETF, and so they just went to Canada and made one today or yesterday or something. I saw a story on that. They're like, we're not waiting for the US. We're just going to go do it in Canada for now.
Well, there's a few of them in Canada. In fact, actually, I buy one for my registered account on a fairly regular basis. I've been buying this. What the hell is it? We got our fun little crypto stock universe. Here we are, the BTCC.B. This thing's been doing pretty well. So I started accumulating, buying. I haven't done any buying since my final buy down in here, but just riding it. Might go in and buy some more. I don't know. That chart looks kind of uppy, maybe a little toppy. I don't know. You know, like something like this. This looks like it could be a nice, polite little head and shoulders. You know, maybe we have to come back down, fill in some gaps before the next run out. I do find it fascinating. You know, we had so much bullish enthusiasm, and the winds just seems to be taken out of the sails here last few days. So this was my crazy year-end sort of face rip, but you can see, man, it's almost like somebody just keeps stepping in front of this thing, stepping in front of this thing. So I don't know when we do this final sort of blow off top, but I guess we can just simply say it won't be until we start closing above that trend line there. So it's going to be a while. Anyway. All right. So your answer for Ruin is Nick likes it. I don't know, Ben. You got any? And Ben or Derek, you got anything about Ruin that you've run into that you want to add to the equation?
No, I don't know anything about Ruin.
Where's that Ruin?
Yeah. Me neither.
No.
I mean, it's also got a cool name. It's Thor Chain. And it's like for Thor. And so,
Well, no,
do you remember? Do you
year?
remember we used to do the ban hammer?
there was a
you
ban
guys have
hammer.
been in crypto that long. But let's see, where do I have it?
Was there a hack on that chain earlier this year?
It was the bottom in that middle there. That
Oh, that was the
left
one
side
that
of the W.
who jumped in there? Was that the one that Mavericks owner jumped in? Did he jump into that one?
Cuban? No, Cuban was
was a
on
different one.
Iron Titan.
Oh,
The one that
didn't he?
the
He
one that
got lost a
a
lot of
ton
money
of
on
money
those,
on.
didn't he?
But yeah.
Was it? It was like he was there. He walked right into a rug pull or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't quite a rug pull, but it was one of those like Ponzi-nomic things that
Ponzi nomic.
once it stops going up, it's zero. And so
it's terrible. But what I wanted to show you, do you guys remember this? I don't know whether you guys remember this. This used to be so popular. I don't know. Let's see if it even loads. You guys remember that? I mean, this used to be like everywhere, all over crypto. Does that look at all familiar to you?
I don't remember the image, but I remember the name, the sort of the saying. But yeah,
I know the
image.
name from just like getting banned on certain
Yeah.
things. Not necessarily
And
this
on
GIF.
on Poloniex, right? This used to be on the Poloniex troll box every single day.
Okay.
Banhammer.
Should bring it back.
Anyway, so that's what I think of when I think of Banhammer. Sorry. All right, so point here. Oh, Doge.
Tito wants
I
you
do
to
not
look at
want to look
Elon.
at Doge. Doge sucks horsecocks.
If you look at Doge, you gotta look at Shiba Inu.
Yeah,
Oh
I'll
my
look at that
gosh.
Shiba E, sure.
Do you know it started
there's your
pumping again off of rumors that it might be involved with the metaverse. I can't even believe it's
No,
it's like
I
the
heard
most
that there was
cliche.
they got a new listing or something recently.
It's the most cliche stuff you've ever heard. See, I said stuff. I'm trying to be family friendly as well.
You're such a sweet.
But Oh
I
my
should probably
gosh.
know this. Is that a? It's not a ERC20, is it? Is it on the Ethereum network or is it's its own?
I think it's on ETH. Hold on.
I just get so frustrated with using Ethereum, man. It's just like a
Yeah,
couple
it's
weeks
on
ago,
ETH.
I basically moved off everything off of ETH I could. Like it was, man, I'm tired of the fees. I'm tired of that type of stuff, and
So
it's
you
just
guys, did I ever tell you guys the longer the channel, the bigger
the
the
run.
something? Yeah. So it's interesting how you can almost take that distance there and almost like have it like almost
Yeah,
like
it
straight up
looks
to there.
almost perfect. Yeah.
So it's such a good example. And then I think I told you before, like Verge did the same thing last cycle. So I don't know. The way I would look at something like that is this story's over. You want to find the names that are doing like this right here, right? Get that trend line breakout, probably nice rising volume, nice momentum. Yep, you see that big breakout in volume right there. Nice W's in momentum, huge breakouts. That's where you want to get involved in this. Coming in here, this is you at Thanksgiving dinner. Derek and your uncle Louis going, "Hey Derek, I heard this Shiba Inu is a good buy. What do you think?" I could see Uncle Louis asking about that there.
I don't know. You just pronounced it correctly. I feel like most of my relatives that would ask me about crypto coins would be like, "What's up with Shiba?"
Shib. Shib. Mind you, I know I come across as an okay boomer, and I am pretty out of it, but I have been in this space actually for quite a while. That's the irony of it all. Like, if I'm not mistaken, this was the coin that it was supposed to be a joke, but then they sent a bunch of coins to Vitalik for him to sort of be the private key anchor, and he just turned around and he said, "I don't want anything to do with this," and he just donated the coins to some charity or something, right?
That's the very left-hand part of this chart.
Yeah. That's him dumping.
It was in May.
Yeah. So talk about, now that is poetic justice, isn't it? Isn't that beautiful poetic justice? To me, that seems like it is. Now that is your Ponzi-nomics. No. All right, let's see what else these guys want to talk about. Yeah, we got lots of crypto ETFs in Canada now. They're coming out the woodwork. I think Nick did mention ANC Anchor, and of course, Sjord. Come on the site and do a search of all the Luna presentations that Sjord has done, and you can really, like I said, Sjord is so good at this stuff. But you can see tons and tons of conversations about Luna here on the site. So feel free, if you want to come on and learn more about Anchor, pop on the site and check that out. Build Back Better is all about hiring thousands more IRS agents. Yeah, how many billionaires are there in the States? Do they really need 80,000 agents to go after all these billionaires? Is there 80,000 billionaires down in the States? There can't be more than maybe, I don't know, a couple hundred billionaires? And that would be a lot, wouldn't it? Guys who make like over $500,000 a year that need to be audited? There can't be that many. So why on earth do they need to have 80,000 IRS employees? What the freaking fuck?
Yeah, with that many employees, you should never be waiting to get an answer for your phone call.
Well, but see, that's the thing, right? And this is my feeling. They always say how's it go? The path to hell is paved with best intentions. This is a potion for disaster. You want a police state? If you are in the United States, you should call up your congressman and you should say, look, I do not want a police state. I don't want to live in a police state. That's what Janet Yellen wants. As the banker, she wants basically, monthly statement, please. Now. That you want to live in that world? The worst part about it is me in Canada. I live in that world. P.S. It sucks. Horsecocks. You people in the United States, you're some of the only free people left in this world. Hold on to those freedoms, people. Seriously, hold on to them.
We still got guns.
Yeah, well, maybe that's one of the reasons why
For
you
now.
still have them.
For now.
You know? Yeah, for now. Yeah. I mean, it makes you sick to your stomach that Janet Yellen, a basically lifelong bureaucrat, academic, she has a net worth of $20 million? How the fuck does that work? I mean, she's an academic. She hasn't even done anything in this world. It doesn't make any sense. She should be, as an academic and working in the banking system, I bet she should have a nice pension. Or $20 million really isn't that much money anymore. And that, sadly, I think is the reality of it, that folks.
Are you an academic now?
I don't know what the fuck I am. I'm a loudmouth son of a bitch. That's what I am.
I mean, you teach plenty of people a year now.
I know, and I told you guys. You see this website. The whole reason why we put this school together was to pay to build this damn website because I knew it was going to be expensive. And I'm the type of person that I never want to go into debt. Never, ever, 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 ever. So it is a failing of mine. If I want to buy a house for my son, then I want to buy the house with cash. So I got to sit here and just keep piling up the cash. And it's a fight with these fucking bankers over their inflation game. But I don't like debt. I really, really do not like debt. I've seen debt destroy people. And the worst part about it is, like the MMT people, that Cortez chick down in the States, they don't realize that we've just gone through like a 30-year interest rate friendly environment. And a lot of you people, I would imagine all three of you, you don't even know what an unfriendly interest rate environment looks like. You don't even know what that looks like. It's evil. And we're heading into that for the next 30 years. And the sad thing is it's the shit that Powell and Yellen are doing right now that's going to cause this. And we might go into a military state where like I said, I mean, the IRS might come to you. Now 80,000 of them, all brandishing guns. Welcome to your dystopia, and there's not a fucking thing you can do about it. It's kind of scary. Do you guys remember the movie Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Richard Dawson? That was sort of a nightmare dystopian sort of vision of the future 30 years ago. And what scares me is I see so many parallels that we're heading in that direction. Ugh, I don't know.
I have heard so many stories by my parents. Like when I was your age, we had an 18% interest loan on our mortgage on our house, and yeah. I mean, I was alive in the 80s, but I didn't thankfully have to live through those interest rates.
Yeah, the good part about it is we won't see that. Your kids, my hunch is you got little ones, right, Derek? So
yep.
When your kids are heading off to college, that's when you're going to be seeing double-digit interest rates again.
But then could you just put your money in a savings account and pay for college?
Well, the problem is what is that college bill when you actually go to pay it? Because inflation is just cranking higher. Right? You might find that the college bill literally goes up 10% every single year. Chung, 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 chung. Right, and the rule of 72, your money doubles in 7.2 years at 10% interest. So you start, let's say Janie's in grade 1, right, and she's got 15 years until college, and the college bill right now is $100,000 a year. I don't know what the private school in the States is now, but it's a hell of a lot of money. Let's be conservative, $10,000 a year, which would be like a state school, right, or something like that, right? So the rule of 72 says your money doubles every 10 years at 7.2%. Flip side, your money doubles every 7.2 years at 10%. At 15%, which is really, really bad hyperinflation, your money's doubling every 3 years. So, Janie's got 15 years until college? And if we're going to average like 5-10% inflation a year, I mean, just sit down and try and figure out what that bill is by the time we get there. So, and this is where we get into real rates versus nominal rates. So what you're saying is, well, I'm going to get interest on my money. That's your nominal rate. Hey, that's not so bad. I can put that in the bank. But if inflation is running a couple points ahead of your interest rate that you're getting paid, you're actually seeing negative rates. You're actually seeing your purchasing power falling, even though you're getting paid this huge fat interest payment that you think is so wonderful. I don't know, does that help answer the question?
Yeah, so I put in chat that, freecodecamp.com or YouTube are really good friends for kids' education then after high school.
What did you say? Free Coke?
Free Code Camp. If you want
free
to learn,
Code Camp. Oh, okay.
If you want to learn to code,
I like free
learn
Coke
coding
too,
skills.
so what the hell?
That actually provides a pretty decent curriculum with some projects and stuff that you can do.
That's
I
cool.
think.
I mean, that's what What I believe is that the foundation for the millennial generation taking over this economy is being set by things like what you guys are doing with DeFi. Your generation, all three of you, I mean, you're roughly the same age, right? You are the future. I don't think any of the three of you buy any of the bullshit that these stupid baby boomers are trying to pull over on us. And really, the irony of it all is it's not even the baby boomers, it's their parents that are still fucking alive. It's like, aren't you going to go and die already? Sorry, that's terrible. But all three of you, I don't think you buy this bullshit anymore, do you? I don't think so.
No.
You guys are all,
it's not sustainable for sure.
Yeah, you guys are all checking out. So at some point, the rubber's going to hit the road here. This is going to be interesting to see what happens over the next couple decades. I'll tell you that much, pie crackers. And now, does Mr. Biden actually start like the real sort of police state where the individuals really start losing their individual freedoms? I noticed, like, for example, in their political statements, I saw that all of these bigwigs, none of them had masks on. But all the minions around them have to be wearing these masks, which is totally dehumanizing. And it's totally breaking personal bonds. If I see another person with a mask on, I instantly sort of see this like barrier between us. Beautiful analogy of course, the 1% wanting to consolidate power here. But what really bothers me is I actually see like they're developing class societies here. There is literally now a class like Joey Diamond who can just travel around the world at his leisure. He doesn't need permission from anybody. Doesn't have to have inoculations, vaccines. Doesn't have to wear masks, all that kind of stuff. These banksters are all sitting there in front of Congress. None of them have masks on, right? And yet all the minions around them all have to jump around like puppets. It's kind of sad what's happening. So I don't. My hunch here though is. Well, I don't know what my hunch is. It's either going to go two ways. Either the banksters get away with this, and we just have to add a zero onto all of our price tags, and we all put up with this nonsense, and we live in this sort of modernistic future world. And my hunch is a lot of you guys are going to just sort of slowly try to exit the system. And I would argue that that's going to be offset with the system trying to digitize you and lock up your assets. So in a weird sort of way, it's going to be sort of this, really good analogy. There's a fun TV show. This guy's called, what's it called? Rust King Garage or something like that. Did you guys ever watch that? He's a guy, he fixes cars up in Alberta. And he's got just like total dreadlocks, and they're all like, for lack of a better term, hicks and stuff like that. But the point is that their currency that they use is used cars. So the guy's like, I'll trade you this used car for that used car, right? Now I need that fender, and I'll trade you that bumper and stuff like that. Everything under the board, right? Nothing is taxed. Theoretically, every single one of those deals that they did, especially in Canada, should be subject to goods and services tax. So in a weird sort of way, the digitization is going to bring a huge amount of capital into the system that I think the banksters absolutely love. But in a weird sort of way, there's also going to be a certain amount of people like you guys that are going to be leaving the system. So it'll be really interesting to see if the new revenue sources that are brought in and sort of the discovering of all these pools of capital that never reported before offsets the amount of capital that's going to be trying to leave the system through your generation. So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. My hunch is, as typical, Big Brother wins. And then I think what ends up happening here is they'll just keep pushing the populace, keep driving the slavery, keep making the sort of 99% life shit until we get to a breaking point, and then, we probably degenerate into a massive nuclear war. So that should be nice and fun. Party.
Not looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that's supposed to happen about 2150 or so. So hopefully none of us or our grandkids have to live through that. But what it probably means is that Big Brother does get away with this for the next 100 years or so, making our lives worse and worse and worse and worse. So,
yeah, it's on the books. It's likely happened in another place before, a place called Mars. But
yeah, one might argue. That's interesting debate.
So if somebody wanted to take a look at, let's get back on track a little bit.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted to take a look at Engine.
Yeah, Engine's a good coin. You should look at that.
ENJ?
I don't think you're gonna say it's much of a buy right now, but
Probably not.
well, I mean, I guess it. Oh, sorry, that was Shiba. I was like, it is coming down a bit, but no, that's not.
Engine. I seem to remember. Oh boy, no. Oh boy,
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, I'd leave this thing alone for the time being. But I mean, come on, guys. I mean, look at that. This kind of looks like Luna, right? And if you're not happy and you didn't ring the register on the way up here, people, there's not much help I can be for you. So I don't know where you got long. If you got long through this stuff down here, then you're like magic internet money Danny guys. I heard the other day, and this is a little dangerous, I heard the other day that they had a party in Lisbon that lasted like a week, and that the admission cost was $50,000 a day. Yeah, wow is right. When I heard that, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. I couldn't believe that. And that is just the definition of gluttony, folks. It will be stories like that. They will get out. That will be the undoing. All right? And if you hear that Danny happened to ride a donkey in and had a couple girls, you know where this goes.
So I will say, I know that they were having some sort of party at during the Solana conference, I think, but they actually said anyone who's interested and is in the ICE or Spell or Time communities, just DM someone that works with one of the protocols and they'll just let you up there for free. They were saying, we all want to be invited, etc. We all want to be involved. It might have cost $50,000 a day to host it, but they were trying to get everyone in for free and to do all that stuff. So I don't know.
Well, that's cool. I did hear some serious funny money was just being thrown around. But anyway, it's here nor there. I guess the point here is that if you were part of this, 2021 was your payday. And for heaven's sakes, I sure hope you got paid here a bit. I seem to remember being in this one from last cycle. But I seem to remember, to be honest with you, this being on... I seem to remember Trex. I was in this, and then Trex kicked them off, and I had to move my coins somewhere else. And then when I tried to move them back or try and salvage them off of some other exchange, they disappeared. They might be on Binance. That's a good point. Sjord, he manages that Binance account for us. Maybe they're over there. I don't know. I don't think. Anyway, I remember, I got, and one of the reasons why I really got upset with this whole crypto space was through that whole Trex delisting nightmare. And I don't know whether this thing got caught up in that mess or not, because you can see it is on Trex now. And remember, I've literally owned almost every single coin in this space. And if it was listed on Trex, probably pretty good odds I owned it. But I do, when I look over there now, I see that there is nothing there. I'm not quite sure what happened with this. Anyway, is this a buy right now? Is there anything to do here right now? No, not at all. Yeah, I don't see anything over there. So I seem to remember somewhere I had this. But anyway, but the only thing I could probably say to you is, you want to wait for your buying window. My hunch is it's probably somewhere down in here, which would make sense. This is a typical sort of look left kind of scenario. So, this obviously is a place where supply and demand met, where supply met demand and demand won. So as we work up here, this looks like a late pump move right here. So that low is probably super, super vulnerable. Also, too, good old Ben. He's sitting down there waiting for his Benkoff check. And actually, there's a couple of them in there, eh? So that's probably a pretty important level down in that area. We're looking at momentum here. This is what's called a bearish momentum divergence, where you have price of the asset makes higher highs, but the momentum indicators make lower highs. Very dangerous market. Also, a bearish momentum divergence in relative strength index. You don't see that every day. That's usually a nasty sign. Willie, don't look like it ever. Well, actually, just barely, almost got stupid. Just kissed the underside of it right there. But, lower highs and lower lows. Looks like he's heading down here right now. So, actually, your buddy and mine, good old Colin, he likes the Ray Burchett, that Ray Burchett level first stop target, I always like to call it. But he liked to call it his pump chaser zone, which I think is cool. It resonates with the kids. So interesting, 38.2 to 50%. You notice, look at these big tails in here. We said they need to be eaten. They're probably really vulnerable. And the old Benkoff checks and all that kind of stuff down here. So the only problem with this is I could see this come down and make, some half decent lows. But then the question is, does this become like a big head and shoulders top? So we come screaming down, then rally back up, then screaming down. And then, of course, if we break, that's a big honking head and shoulders, which is probably... And, I guess that at the end of the day, we don't really know what the hell's going to happen. I mean, maybe Big Brother comes out and shits on DeFi. And, it's martial law and the whole damn thing. I mean, you just don't know. But if that head and shoulders does form and we start to fail, then we probably have to come right back down to the bottom. The interesting thing about this is probably a tell that this thing will at some point have to come back down here is this bar right here. So clearly somebody at some point here panic dumped, just market sell, just get me the fuck out of there. They only filled in about where that much of the tail, eh? So that's still open down there. I don't think that'll get filled anytime soon, but ultimately, I think that this market will probably bottom, I don't know, maybe the end of 2022, maybe middle of 2023 kind of idea. As I was telling everybody on the site today, I think it's gospel. Makes perfect sense to me. I've seen it now 3 times. We should be thinking about the bottom of this next cycle. Let's see. Were you guys listening to Daily Brief? When did I think you should see the next bottom cycle?
I think that was 2022.
Well, not really.
Well, based on I'm going based off that.
You got your shot. You're done.
Gotcha.
Who's
6 to
next?
12 months before the next halving.
Oh, there you go. Give that man a cigar. Way to go. Derek, you want to write that down?
I wrote it down.
I can only be a dick like this because it's my website and it's my school. Sorry, Derek. I don't mean to be a jerk. You're awesome.
No, we're good.
So I mean, and so now the next question. This is your opportunity to redeem yourself. The next Bitcoin halving is
2024.
Is that what it is?
Yes, it is most definitely sometime in, I don't know, spring to summer of 2024.
All right. So spring to summer 2024. There's 20, right? There's 21, 22. So that's 1 year. TradingView doesn't even go that far. So we're going to have to sort of ad-lib this a little bit. But, just if you want to check this out yourself, just pull up the Bitcoin chart. Look at the last. I couldn't believe the last halving was May 11th. Is that correct? May 11th, 2020. That's when the halving was?
Yeah, around then.
That's remarkable. I couldn't believe that. I don't know. Do you guys know of anybody else, anything else significant that happened on May 11th?
Definitely a time when we shouldn't be in the market.
Well, at least, hey, you did write that down, so thank you. I appreciate that. That's good. Everybody on the sites knows that if you are thinking about wishing Brian a birthday, happy birthday, you better get the fuck out of the market. Anyway, turns out that halving event was on my birthday. I couldn't believe that. Anyway. Point is, next halving event, something about the middle of 2024, you said? So even that is going to basically, and we're just, I'm just talking out my ass here. This is going to be the end of 2023, I guess the beginning of 2024 there, which means that the next bottom in Bitcoin, maybe we'll go I will just write this down. Oh, come on, you. So we'll put 23 there. We'll put 24 there. Oops, change that. And 25 here. So what we're really saying is the next market trough is somewhere over here, right, middle of 2024. And usually these markets like to bottom somewhere between about 6 months, which is about half of one of these bars, and 1 year, which again, that would be 1.5, is somewhere over here. So I don't know what this looks like here. I mean, maybe we go up to a new high, then we come crashing down, and we probably spend a whole bunch of time doing something along those kind of lines. Right? Start our way back up. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like the whole crypto space probably going to look something along those lines. So, enjoy this top. I don't know what the hell this top looks like. If we go and put in a big honking head and shoulders, kind of like what you see here, that looks like this thing likes to do these head and shoulders, eh? So you can see a pretty well pattern there. Boom, 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 boom. And probably if we actually change that to a log scale, you can really see that really well. Yeah. So you can really see the head and shoulders dump here. Probably even too much. Then the bottom, up we go. Are we going to put in another head and shoulders here? I wouldn't be surprised if there's like this on this part right here. That's what I would be thinking. And the interesting thing is we could do something like a bar chart. Right, we'll go like that. We'll go like that. And so look something like that. And then lay that over there. And we look something like that. That wouldn't surprise me. The only problem is, like I said, once we're into 2022, if you look at the Benner cycle, 2022, 2023, it's not supposed to be a good time. I wouldn't be surprised if this, going through that 4-year cycle cleans itself up. We come down, fill all this stuff in. The interesting thing is you can really, when you look at the log scale, you can really see the bottom now, eh? So can you see this bottom right here? There's your bottom on this asset right there. Pretty clear. Panic dumps. That's what, fat fingers, just get me out. Whatever the cost is, just dump, right? That's what those are going to look like. Be interesting to see if these levels. Is there a gap right here? Yep. So you can see after all the dust settles and the whole DeFi space gets totally reset next cycle, you can see there's a little gap right down there. Oh, isn't that interesting? So there's that big honking tail we talked about, and there is the gap, and I would expect all of that to be traded back to sometime over here. And I know it sounds crazy, and you guys are all like, there's no way these things will ever come back down. Don't kid yourself, people. I've seen the best of them basically go straight up last cycle and come all the way back down. I don't know what's going to be the undoing. No idea. Can't comment on that one bit. Anyway, we'll see what happens. You asked my opinion. That's my opinion.
I will say, if we do see a bear market and this type of things happen, I would absolutely look at something like an Engine, because I could not be more bullish over the next 10 years on like crypto gaming, and Engine is a really nice blue chip in the crypto gaming space. And so if we do see these 95% discounts at some point, we get into the kind of the situation scenario that you played out, I think I would be putting some money into Engine at that point. Like,
that's cool.
I think
the interesting thing, it reminds me a lot of what I see happening now. It's kind of like when this silly UBIT came out last cycle. I mean, this thing just went gangbusters. And you can't even, and what I'm worried about, like, you can't even see where this thing came from. So what I'm worried about is this is sort of the same kind of thing. Why, I don't know what the fundamentals of that ENJ are, but can they keep pace with whatever the innovation is at that point? And while we love the thing today, we might find 3 or 4 years ago the reason why it's come back down to earth is it's that same as that sea change stock I showed you, where actually their technology is outdated, and it's old. It's an old story. It's kind of like investing in China right now. There's a lot of people that are thinking China's tomorrow's story. I would make the argument investing in China is actually yesterday's story. So same sort of kind of concern I would have there.
Yep, 1,000% agree.
Frankly speaking, I just don't know the story here. I mean, what I'm hearing from you is this thing's the shit. So, okay, if it's the shit, then awesome. All I'm saying is, if this story does start falling apart and, we're definitely on the other side of the bull cycle and we're going through correction mode, don't be surprised, folks, if we have to come all the way right back down to the bottom. That's what I've seen venture cap, whether it be penny stocks, whether it be commodities, whether it be these cryptocurrencies, especially the more sort of venture side of these things. What goes up usually has to come back down. So anyway, I've said my piece.
I do have one theory around crypto gaming that I think will only get validated or invalidated once we hit a bear market. But I do think gaming is one of the few things that billions of people around the world are going to do, regardless of if the markets are good or not. And
well, maybe, sure, but what do you define? And then maybe what ends up happening is every single casino ends up having their own NFT and their own token, and the market just becomes absolutely saturated with a million of these different stories.
And I'm sure they will, but if you actually go look at the ones that get the user base and that are actually fun, I would dare say even the top games that are out right now, like Axie Infinity, which is at like almost I don't know what it is now, maybe like an $8 billion market cap or something. It looks like a 1990s Game Boy Color game.
Yeah. Well, and even Decentraland for that matter. It
looks
still
like
feels very much like we're playing Pong.
Yep. And so like I do think over the next couple of years you're going to see some actual real I guess in the industry you call it like a AAA game. It's something that looks great and is super fun. I think you're going to start to see these games coming out in the next year or two, and I do think they won't be invincible to a bear market, but I think they will be the top ones will be more resilient than most of your crypto coins.
Well, I mean, and then the interesting thing is this is a platform for that, right?
Engine is like one of the backbones.
Right.
There's probably about a half dozen of them that are providing some good infrastructure for gaming and stuff
So,
like that.
all it is who builds a better mousetrap.
Yep.
Kind of like
And
our talk
Engine
earlier.
has
I mean, do we have like 500 million of these different things coming out? And do these guys get left in the dust? As it stands right now, it looks like it's very much in a dominant position, but that doesn't necessarily mean it makes for a good investment decision. And investment decision, I think, me personally, if I was, if I had some money to spend, I could throw at least 100 different ideas at you that I would much prefer putting my money into than that.
Okay, well, we got 8 minutes, Brian. Tito
All
just
right.
asked, is there anything that you see us being able to enter now? Based on your risk?
Oh,
Speaking
boy.
of ideas,
Yeah, okay. So where's that news? You're just going to slip it right around my neck here? Well, Tito, let's see. You got your horse. I'll get up on the horse. I'll make this really easy for you. Buy Doge. Oh, there you go. The sad. Oh God, and I don't want to ruin your guys' parade.
I mean, it's also okay to say that by your rational investing rules, there's not a lot you can do right now.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing to say.
You can speculate all you want, but as far as like trying to follow high percentage plays, I mean.
See, the interesting thing is there are some fun pockets in the market. Like my pieces of shit. They're just sort of sitting here and they're not doing anything right now. So something like this, I don't necessarily think it's going to go straight up tomorrow, but it's already just been beaten into the ground. It's just waiting for its day in the sun. Interesting thing about these kind of names is you can see somebody keeps driving these things down and they just keep getting bought up. So I do like names like this, but how completely and utterly unpopular is that?
I mean, I look at it at 102 sats and I think, well, it can go down 99% before it's delisted.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, what I like is the fact that, I think I've told you before, these things sometimes have funny pops and you get treats handed to you.
Is it fair to say one of these like just complete shit coins that you're looking on the complete bottom end of the risk spectrum? You're throwing 50 bucks at this thing.
This is the poop. There's no doubt. See, the problem is I don't really necessarily even like this part of the space because we're so late in the cycle. Like I would say this part, just like what you said there a few minutes ago, we are in this speculative, frothy part of the cycle. So you want to go and have some fun, roll the dice? Well, okay. But I don't know about investment grade. And the problem is, and this is going to sound terrible, but I don't think we're in actually a really good investment environment right now. To me, this feels like a very dangerous environment to make what you're considering good quality investing. Like what I like to do is if I'm going to invest in something, I want to know that it has a really low structure. So can you tell me of a cryptocurrency story with a really low coin count? I love those kind of stories. Then, can you tell me about a story where insiders are actually getting long the story from where we are? I don't know if I don't even know if that information is even available in the crypto space. I remember last cycle there were a couple really good analogies, and actually I even remember last cycle there was one coin in particular that did roll its coins back and reduce supply, and of course when it came out the damn thing went nuts. I make the argument that the half of the reason why Luna is going up right now is because they just keep burning supply, and I'm like a supply kind of guy. You show me a situation where the supply is diminishing, I'll probably show you a price that's probably rising. The only problem is, can you come in now? I don't think so.
Well, that is also part of what will Luna will always be more volatile because it will burn Luna when demand is high, but it will create Luna when the demand is low.
Yeah, I'm certainly not going to be calling myself an expert on any of that stuff.
So once we hit a bear market, like I could see Luna going down more than a lot of other coins as well.
Yeah,
but
yeah. And really a lot of these DeFi names you might find, because I remember last cycle everybody got piled into ADA, and like a lot of people are saying, well, the reason why the POS, because that's what these are, right? They're proof of stake coins, right? I mean, that's basically what this is, POS, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so the difference is last cycle you just got paid the coins, and it's like, okay, well, I got the coins, so fucking what? Now theoretically you get paid the coins, which get reinvested in things like stable coins and all that kind of stuff, right? So, and then there's a whole bunch of mechanisms that are trying to make, sort of like the price stable here and all that. We're going to find out how real that is when this next bear cycle comes. Frankly speaking, jury's still out right now. I don't know what the answer is. But what I do think is in these hot, sexy parts of the market, heading into whatever the hell this cycle peak is, we might see prices substantially higher than where we are right now. So you get this kind of situation where it's kind of too late to buy, but it's probably too early to sell. So that's why I'm sort of torn. And really, I hate to say it, but a lot of these shit coins and stuff that I bought, they're just sitting there doing nothing. They're not even participating in this cycle. They have like a sentimental sort of attachment to me. And of course, I have a bunch of free from last cycle. But they're just not doing anything. There's no story there. So as a result, what a big surprise. Nothing's moving.
Said there.
Somebody just mentioned there in the lounge, Mr. Silbert, Mr. ETC, he says he's buying Zcash. I mean, we can always take a look at it. I don't have a problem buying weekly W's. I don't know. Can I come in and buy that way up there? Yeah, it sucks, guys, but no, I don't see a hell of a lot I do like here. It sucks.
Honestly, I feel like that was a reload zone there. And
Here?
the W coming in like October. No, like in that W that formed to the left of that.
Right
that I feel like is a reload zone because you're on log scale.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. Okay, yeah. Well, really, it's Ben, right? I mean, Ben's just sitting there thumbing his nose at us. So that's fine. Here, though?
Yeah. Now, no, but.
If anything, what worries me is that looks like a big honking harmonic. That's not good. This is another good example. I mean, the interesting thing is we did this show. We Do you guys remember this when we started this out in the spring? We were all like, oh my God, this shit looks like a train wreck. And then do you remember halfway through the summer, we're like, hey, this is looking better. Do you remember this? I remember Derek. I remember you specifically saying this. Ben, I seem to remember you. Now we're like here. If anything, like you said, maybe there's a cute little entry right there, and that's 128 bucks. So if that's 128, then who can tell me what am I doing at what? 256. You already know what the number is, right? What am I doing at 256 right there? Ben, what am I doing?
Selling half on a double.
And Barry wants us to go in and buy that?
Well, I think he wants us as liquidity, but potentially, but
Yeah, man. He might also be beating the drums because maybe he bought this W here, which looks like the place where you want to belong, eh? Doesn't that look like a W that Brian would probably like down in there? And, I got to say, Nick, and if anything, you're getting good at this now, is that you picked this reload zone off pretty good. Right down
in log scale too.
Yeah, hats off. Look how the bottom came in right off 78.6 there. The weird thing is this shit gets so cliche after a while. But here, I don't know. It's a tough one.
As a closing thought, I know we're kind of out of time. I did like how you said that everything with DeFi and rates and et cetera is completely up in the air until we hit a bear market. That is the number one fascination of mine and thing I'm interested in is to see how all of DeFi reacts in a bear. I could see it thriving, and I could see it be all the rates going down to 0.5% to 3%, and having it be no better than like a normal bank account right now. Like both of the options I think are open. I think I am more of an optimist usually, but that I think will determine for people who are into crypto now. I think it could determine who can get way ahead financially if you can still get some decent rates that can outpace inflation on stable coins in a bear market. So,
well, see, what I'm worried about is the headline right now is what did we say? 87,000% APY. And a lot of people are going to be like, and it doesn't matter, Solana, Polkadot, Luna. Snoop Dogg's gonna get up there on stage and he's gonna be like, "Hey, ladies, let's do it. Let's do the thing, right?" And then all the white boys are gonna be like, "I want to be like him. Go buy whatever the hell he's telling me to buy," right? You know how it goes. So we're heading into that orgy event. Where is the actual top in price? I mean, maybe you have your whatever crazy ass annual percentage returns. If Luna, for example, is like $60 here at crazy ass insane returns, maybe it comes down to earth at $400 a coin. Think make sense?
Yep.
So I think there's two ways to look at this. And then also, too, we also have this bugaboo that's floating around the back of our brains that, ironically enough, nobody seems to really be picking up on. I keep saying it over and over and over, but it's not resonating with anybody in that what do I actually expect our society and asset like equity prices to do? And believe it or not, this is what I'm expecting. So maybe I have Luna go. Maybe it goes to $4,000 a coin. Who fucking knows? But I think that the banksters are going to continually to reflate the economy. They're going to use the sickness to pull off this constant dilution of the currency, which these assets, if all they do is they just keep on their earning streams, just to stay the same asset, their asset price has to go through the roof. And now with this whole sort of wonderful percentage rate of return here over the short term here in that kind of crisis scenario. Could things like DeFi go just absolutely insane to the upside? I actually think so, yes.
That's true. But I think of it and say, well, if I'm not in crypto, I'm falling that much more behind.
Yeah.
So at least maybe if I'm here, I can stay even.
Right. And all I'm saying is, like I said, I'm not necessarily saying crypto is a sell. I don't think it is. If anything, what you want to do is you actually want to wait for these windows where you're going to get the 38.2 pullbacks. Where's a chart I can show you? In fact, actually, this one's kind of interesting because you see this was the Silk Road reversal low and the rally peak. You can see then this was 1314 bull, the yellow. You can see that we did do a 38.2 to 50% retracement. So from the JP Powell low up to our most recent rally peak, 38.2 to 50% is actually exactly where we are right now. So actually, everything's going right normal with what I see here. So the question ultimately is, I suppose, it's going to be awfully tough for me to come in on Barry's name here. I just can't do that. But, could you do something like, Brian, Danny, he really likes this Cello. So I've said, all right, I don't want to chase, I don't buy up markets. You know how I play this game. And so, he first talked about it in one of his social media events here. And at on that date, I said, all right, I'm going to go throw my bids in and do my business that I normally do. This is what I do. And sure enough, you can see how I'm slowly getting filled here. So, whoever was asking, I found something for you. This is something I'm actually trying to buy. So there you go. Merry Christmas.
And to be completely fair about the DeFi APYs, I'm not talking about the 80,000%. I'm not even talking about the 80%. I'm talking about something like Anchor that is supposedly promising 18%, and they're trying to be more conservative and building a treasury so that even in a bear market they can pay that out. If I can get something like 20% on my dollars in a bear market, I'm all in on that thing.
That's the problem,
when I can
right?
insure it as well.
That's absolutely the problem. Is this will work until it doesn't, and then when it doesn't, this could be extremely ugly. I mean, you remember that Luna, right? Some guy tried to take this thing apart, right? You probably know the story way better than I do. So somebody found a chink in the armor over here. And you can see how quickly they took this thing apart, right? So I don't know what the chink in the armor is. And frankly speaking, I don't see any chinks in the armor right now. And, I actually joke with people, the irony of this stupid game that we play is whatever the scandal is that's actually going to take us apart tomorrow, it's happening right now. So we just don't know about it. We're the uninformed public. We'll find out 6-8 months from now. Oh my God, did you hear about that scandal? That guy BitConnect, whatever. That guy Steven Seagal, that guy Floyd Mayweather, whatever, I mean, who knows what the hell the story's going to be. But I'd actually make the argument that whatever the scandal is, it's actually going on as we speak right now.
I'd be interested to see the story between Steven Seagal and Floyd Mayweather.
I get the feeling that neither one of them know crypto at all, and they were purely uninformed puppets, which is often the case. Like, if I understand correctly, Steven Seagal, a representative of his quickly signed a guilty settlement and paid, I think it was like a $300,000 fine or something like that. And just, okay, I got to move on with life. That was just a bad mistake. I think that's the impression that I got out of that. I don't know about Mr. Floyd Mayweather, though. I don't know whether he's finished with all that scandal stuff or not. Anyway. So, my hunch is we're going to have one hell of an orgy here this February, March. That's my hunch. I have a funny feeling that we're going to have to go through another emergency round of stimulus, shutting the economy down and stuff. We're not done this. Then we're going to have another round of like hyperinflation. So, I think the way I'm kind of looking at this is what we might look back in hindsight and say, well, the sickness changed the rules of the game for a few years, and until we get to the point where them can be like, okay, we don't have to shut the economy down anymore. We can start, buckling down and sort of balancing the books. Until you actually start hearing that, and I don't hear any of that whatsoever, we are still very comfortably in this insane market state where I don't actually think economics even matter right now, which is so sad because it means that just make damn sure, if anything, especially up in northern Minnesota, just, I would even make sure you have a few months of food locked away and just stored away just in case this shit really hits the fan. Suppose if you're down in Florida, you can always just go hop in the ocean and hang out with the dolphins, right?
Or pick some oranges.
Or oranges. Mind you, here's a really good analogy. If I say the term skitters, do you guys know what that means?
No.
No idea.
So, how about the book The Grapes of Wrath? Does that sound at all familiar to you?
Yes.
There's actually a famous American author, an icon of
It was
the Dust
Steinbeck.
Bowl. Yeah. So the sad thing is there were children in California that used to work on the fruit farms, and they didn't even get any food. And they couldn't even eat the fruit that they picked off the trees because if they ate it, it would give them diarrhea and they could literally die because they just didn't have any solid food in their diet. And yet they had to go out into the farms and pick the fruit for the fucking landowners. So I don't know how bad gets here, folks. If anything, over the past 40, 50 years, we've been living a very, very spoiled lifestyle. We might find that things get a little bit challenging here for the next few years. My advice to all you crypto kids, of course, is make hay while the sun shines. I mean, you see this silly Luna thing here. We're in a bull right now, so just enjoy it. And if anything, I want to try and retire when the bull's done. Because I've already gone through one of these crypto bears with you, holding all your hands and shit. I had one guy last bear cycle who threatened. He tried for the life of him to try and justify suing us at TRI. And I do not want to have to go through that again. So just fair warning, everybody. Yeah, that's right, Adam. That's good. It's an interesting story, but it's just fascinating how, Skitters was basically their name for diarrhea and what happened if you ate too much fruit. And it's just interesting how none of you guys knew what that term was. So, I don't know what to say to you guys. If anything, like I said, a name that I think I can feel comfortable. If you guys were saying, well, Brian, is there something I can go pick up that you're buying that you think is actually, can you see the big weekly W's and monthly W's this thing is at? It's there right now. It's not like up here. Or like Barry. Barry wants you to buy, right? When you should have been buying Barry's idea, that ZC, you should have been buying it down here. Barry wants you to come in and buy here. Oh, okay. I mean, it could go up, could go down, could go up, could go down. I mean, very, very volatile. I like this one because, of course, I'm trying to get filled on the down push. But notice it's against this big honking bottom down in here. And it's basically against this big bottom here. So I like trying to accumulate that kind of name in there. That's a name. So whoever asked, there's a nice treat for you. Yeah, no guarantees on the management. I have no idea what the fuck this thing's gonna do. Is it gonna survive? I thought it was funny the other day. I like to buy W's. We got a guy on the site, Colin, who is involved in these guys, and I was like, hey, there's a W. I ought to buy it. I had no fucking clue what was gonna happen here, and I had no way of knowing that this thing was gonna rally. But I just buy W's. It's what I do. So. This other one, I see a massive W that I'm trying to get in off of. And I'm not going to go bet the farm. I'm just going to go nibble away. I've got my bids working. If they all get filled because this tail gets filled, awesome. And then, of course, if this thing comes down, puts in a big old W, I can always add to the trade.
So. We are right at that Wyckoff check of the W, too.
Yeah, well, we're right at the point where I got to piss like a racehorse.
Do we want to quick do predictions next week
before you go pee? Our big predictions. Who won? Who's the smart guy here?
I mean, probably not me. I haven't been the smart guy.
Whose newsletter are we supposed to subscribe to? I can see. Well, we're not surprised because subscribing to Brian's. Oh, is the purple the winner? Is that what's going on here? Wow, there's a color.
I'm looking. Yeah, we haven't done this week.
We had a.
What does that mean? Is that a 3?
I think Nick had put me down for a 3 last week.
Oh,
well, I that was not me.
Uber ball.
No, I put it on there.
All right.
This is a joke.
So it looks like Ben, that's the definition of an impatient futures trader that just blew up his prop account.
Okay, so we were at 57.1 at the start of the show. So essentially we were even. We were minus 700.
And now we're at 57.8, or that's last
No. That was the start of last week's show. I did not
okay. So we haven't put in today's number yet.
Update the sheet. So we're at 57.1 for this week.
57,100 bananas.
Yeah. So we're down 700. So pretty much even. I think Derek won the week.
All right, we'll give Derek kudos. Way to go, Slick. Well, okay. Well, both of you two, either -1 or 0, a lot closer than either Ben, who wasn't here, or Brian was just plain wrong. Way to go, Brian. All right. I don't know. Do we want to? What day is today? Today's the 28th.
No. It's the 1st of December.
Jesus. So we're already through this. Technically, we got less than a month left of this crazy ass year, eh?
That's what some people say.
So we, I don't know, what are we going to say here? Minus 700? Is that how you're doing this?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so what the hell is Brian going to do? Brian thought that we'd get a nice little bounce, but you know what's kind of interesting, Ben? It was, or not Ben, Derek, this is actually a lot like what we saw in the class today. Where do I want to do this? In that, what I think happened is like literally the whole market got blindsided by this Omicron. I think that's what it's called, Omicron variant. This, I think it really, and you can see the junior stock market got ripped. The senior stock market got ripped. The crude oil market got absolutely smoked here. So I think this, the Bitcoin weakness, I think it was related to that. Basically, the whole part of the risk market just got destroyed there. Where's the best place to show you this? Probably over there. Yeah, all these risk assets just got ripped here. That doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. I was still wrong just because I was wrong. So what are we gonna think? Actually, why don't you guys give your vote, and then while you guys are voting, I'll think about what the hell
I'll go first because you know what I'm gonna say.
We're gonna.
I'm just gonna be another -1, just because.
-1. All right. And that's simply because you are bullish and you just want.
I just assume I'm going to be wrong, so why not bet bearish?
All right. Well, looks like you were right, though. So way to go. Right. 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 All right. Okay. So you're going for -1, a little bit softer in price. Derek, actually, you were the closest one last week. Where are you headed?
I'm gonna go with the 1.
Oh, so you're feeling uppy, eh?
Oh.
Well, I think we're gonna I think we're gonna be higher next week. Ultimately, we're
Okay.
just kind of in a range. We're range bound for a while, but next week is the time to be up a little
I'd
bit.
like to just point out it's been 4 months since Derek has been bullish.
All right.
Really? Oh, I guess I got a lot of zeros in there.
Yeah, way back up here, right? That's kind of cool. All right, and Benkoff check. Benkoff check's also going to go for a 1 here, right?
Yeah, a little bit up this week. Maybe not a 3 up, but
Well, I don't want you risking your prop account. Don't go and blowing yourself up. Remember what your number one job is, right? Does everybody remember
Come
what their
back
number
again
one
tomorrow.
job is? I don't know whether you guys remember that, but I used to go on about that all the day. I used to like literally every single day on the videos. What the hell's your number one job? What are you here to do?
I think Ben answered it. It was to make sure you can come back tomorrow.
That's right. Damn straight. Okay, so obviously this is an absolute mess. Okay, so where were we? 1 week ago. I remember 1 week ago. Let's see if we can do this. So, we'll go December 2nd. Isn't that interesting? So it's already moved to GMT here. Is that new day? Okay, so 24th.
I think we're gonna make we're going for an inverse head and shoulders, and we're gonna just take off.
Sure looks like it, right? Hopefully. Okay, so that means 1 week. I'm going to go here. And I remember here I was thinking we were going to go... What was I thinking? I think I was thinking we were going to do something like that. So, a little bit off. Let's see. I'm a little heavy. The only problem is looking at a full week. You know, I'd almost even want to just go, what's a weekly bar look like? But then we start getting into a mess. So if anything, this is probably a better image. But this isn't Wednesday to Wednesday. It'd be kind of cool if we could have a Wednesday to Wednesday chart. Goodness. What do you say there? I think I'm going to have to go down. That's probably wrong, but that's my hunch. So we will go -1. Boosh. Still think we got to get down into that big fat round number. That's like 50 G's. So I'm still biased to the downside.
But since I've missed the daily briefs, that BFRN is that by a curse word right now?
No.
What does BFRN mean?
Big fat round number.
Oh, well, I like the first one, but the second one's fine too.
No, this is a show for the ladies, and
it is a big round number. I agree with that.
For the clergy, so we got to try and keep our mouths clean here. Yeah, right. Big fat round number, and really what this is it almost becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy, especially if the market's rallying, where people just keep seeing that big round number in their eyes and the market just gets drawn to it. It's quite remarkable. But yeah, I still think we have to head down to that level. And interestingly enough, Mr. Gann, he would say 50% retracements are what should happen, eh? So you can see that BFRN would be nothing more than just a tag of that. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Well, 20 minutes past the hour, so hope you guys enjoyed the conversation tonight. We've got all our bets laid for next week. What do you think over on YouTube? Did you guys have fun tonight? I hope you guys enjoyed this. I do see, it's cool to see Nick. He's over there. You're just chatting away with all these people through the show, eh? So.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times we can't talk about everything people chat about, so I try to respond to what I can. Okay.
Well, yeah, good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed the evening, and look forward to seeing you guys on the site. I guess probably only one more week working with you, eh, Derek? What kind of sucks for you guys, well, I guess Nick, you're going to get me as a TA next term. So you get to break in Zach. Actually, it'll be fun to
So you're demoting yourself to TA.
I think I don't want to just leave him cut and dry, because that's always a little dangerous. So I'll just sort of float around in the background, especially with regard to options and stuff. I don't want to just leave people out there. So I'll be around to help, but what I really have to do is I have to try and tone down the talking. I mean, for that level 3 class, Derek, he'll attest to it. I did like a full 2-3 hour class on the weekends, plus a 2-3 hour group session on Wednesdays. That's just too much for an old timer like me. I gotta wind these things down a bit. So they did a really good job this term making sure that the lectures are applicable for coming terms. So I don't think that'll change. It's just doing 2 full sessions a week is just too much. So, and I suppose I got to start thinking about whether we can get the Lyceum up and running. So at the end of this year, my plan was to slowly unwind the Canadian corporation that we have. And, especially if we go into some sort of crazy orgy peak. There is a gentleman, Sebastian, on the site who, I don't know whether I have it handy or not. But anyway, he put together a whole NFT program, like, on Ethereum, the whole damn thing, to do sort of like anybody who's done well at TRI financially and you'd like to participate in sort of a not-for-profit organization to try and help people in the world. There was a guy recently that was convicted of he was convicted of a crime, and then 30 years later, sorry, I guess we were wrong. We threw you in jail for 30, 40 years. Oops. And they didn't even give him any money on the way out. Fucking state. I swear. I hate how cruel this world can be. So I said, let's just go and find this guy. And this is my open invitation. If anybody can find this dude, I mean, there's a whole bunch of people that went and did a GoFundMe campaign. So he's going to have a bit of money coming out, which is good. Thank heavens. I could always throw money into the pot. But if there's anything I can do to help this guy, it's teach him, just how to manage yourself and make sure that because a lot of people that get a whole bunch of money, they end up just giving it right back because they just don't know how to manage money. And so I just said, look, if you can find this guy, send him over my way. I will take him under our wing. We'll make sure that he knows how to manage himself and he doesn't go and put in like a 3 in a column being overtly insanely bullish when he's only supposed to be doing 1s and 2s.
I did hear that.
I'm just playing with you.
That GoFundMe got like $1.5 to $2 million.
Yeah, so he said he's good to go, but the problem is, of course, I don't think he get. I didn't get through the message. I was kind of hoping that somebody would go, okay, now go talk to Brian. And let's get you set up in the education program so you know how to manage that big mountain of money.
Well, I mean, you hear countless stories about how people come into money and then suddenly it's gone.
I know. It sucks. I hate that. And if anybody knows me, they know that I am the biggest fucking cheap ass in the world. I mean, I'm terrible. I just don't like to spend money. So I'm like obsessive in the other direction. But one thing that always bugs me so much, and especially a guy like this, he's lived in a very sheltered world. Like, when you live inside, you are told when to breathe, when to eat, when to masturbate, when to pick your butt. I mean, you have no freedom at all. Now he's thrown out into the world, and it's just sort of like, okay, you're on your own, good luck. And a lot of these guys, they just can't make it. I mean, you saw Shawshank Redemption. I mean, you know how the story goes. So, if there's anybody watching this and you want to reach out and you want to connect this guy with me, that's my job. if there's any kind of job that I could do in this world, that's what I want to spend the rest of my life doing. It's helping guys like this. So I actually asked somebody on the site a year or two ago if they could put together some way that if you've done well at TRI and you want to participate in this not-for-profit entity to help build retreats around the world so we can send underprivileged people and they can just, they're in a safe, secure environment where they don't get taken advantage of. And, you've got, we have, I don't want to say a religion, but I think we have a sort of a way that we do things. Like, would you guys agree? We kind of look out for each other. We're kind of like trying to be nice people.
Yeah, I would agree.
Especially in the community, like in the lounge and stuff like that. I think that's a huge selling feature of what we do. And I just want to convert that into reality. But you can't do anything in this world without a couple bucks. So, market goes crazy. And that's really its only premise on, Sedona euphoria, kind of crazy ass kind of talk. If we're all stinking rich and we could all throw like 25 grand into a pot and build this not-for-profit organization out, that's actually how I'd really like to spend my time in the new year. So I haven't lost my thought about that. I've been thinking about it now for a full year. I remember I mentioned this back last winter and a whole bunch of people got really, really excited. And I've just been slowly trying to figure out how to put all this together through the year. So Sebastian, if you're watching, I still need to get together with you and hash all this stuff out with Zach and Sjord and stuff. So anyway, blah, 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 blah. I hope you guys enjoyed the fun evening together. That's really the whole point of this here, right? So, all right. Looks like Dick just took off. He's had enough. So,
No, my camera shut
there he
off
is. Oh, he's
halfway
still
through.
here. Okay, cool. All right, why don't we call it a night? Thank you so much, guys. Always a pleasure chatting with you. I don't know. Why don't we just everybody have their opportunity to say goodnight? Ben, you want to start off?
Yeah, good night, everyone.
All right, Derek?
Good night. Don't take no wooden nickels.
Damn straight. And Nick, you get the final saying. Take us on out of here. The only thing
Bye
left
for
us-
now.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you
I overshot it. Go
You
ahead.
can't
Start over.
cut
Start over.
off
Start
my
over.
line. You got. We
Start
have
over.
a. We have
Start
a
over.
whole-
Start over. Start
Okay, okay. So the only thing left for TRI to say at this point is.
Bye for now.
Well done.